is it Minnesota? Welcome to the show. You're on with Shannon and Matt. How can we help?
How's it going? Hey, I just have a question. Do you guys do anything wrong in a person just believing in God to make them feel good?
Well,
Did he just say, do we see anything wrong in a person believing in God just to make them feel good? I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
yes, that is what I heard.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Perfect.
Is that correct, Javier?
Yes.
Sweet. Go
Okay,
ahead, Jen.
thank you. Do I see anything wrong? I guess that kind of depends on what you mean by wrong also. Like, morally, do I believe that somebody can have a mental state that affects no one else but themselves? Because it makes them feel good? No, so long as it's just a mental state that affects no one but themselves and doesn't affect themselves detrimentally. Now, then you've got a long road to hoe after that, because that almost doesn't exist as a reality in the world, right? So people's beliefs inform their actions, right? So people's beliefs inform their actions, people's beliefs inform their relationships, and people's beliefs inform their perceptions of themselves. So, do I see anything wrong in this hypothetical that doesn't really exist in reality? No. If you gave me a real life scenario, could I almost invariably find something wrong with it? Yeah, absolutely. But we don't exist in the realms of hypothetical, non-existent questions. We exist in the real world where what I said stands and what people believe informs their actions. And people don't believe in a God in a vacuum, most likely. It's wrapped in a belief structure, in a societal structure, in an infrastructure of community. It's wrapped in a doctrine. It's wrapped in perceptions of how they must behave and treat other people and interact with one another. And those all can have deleterious effects on the people themselves and the people around them. So, in your hypothetical that doesn't exist, then sure, maybe not. But in reality, I think that you would need something more concrete. But most of these hypotheticals are posed just so that you can get an atheist to say something along the lines of, well, yeah, obviously just your belief isn't an issue, but then it's ignoring all of the reality that unfolds from somebody's belief system. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I actually go a step further in that while I would be fine with the notion that there might be somebody out there who believes in a God, and this specific belief itself doesn't have that much impact on what they do, and therefore doesn't have that much negative impact on the world, and I would still object, because if in fact it is not true that a God exists, and you believe that there is a God, that means that your brain has gone through some heuristic process to reach a conclusion that is false. And if in fact your brain is going through a process to reach that conclusion, there's no reason to think that only that subject is affected by that process. Basically, we like to reuse things, including the heuristics we do. Today is pretty much the same as yesterday. We rely mostly on inference and induction. And if the process that led one to believe there was a God, how do you know that that's not going to lead you to believe other things? This is the reason why I advocate for skepticism. This is the reason why I want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible. Because if my internal model of reality starts to depart from reality, how do you stop that from cascading? I'm not saying that it's okay, everybody's going to be wrong about something. I'm sure Shannon and I have each been wrong about, well, Shannon's only been wrong about one thing today, but I've been wrong about probably 50 things today. But it's not about, is a God belief, is it necessarily bad? No. But if in fact it's not true, then it is necessarily a problem because a brain has reached a wrong conclusion. And if it turns out that their God belief is true, then at a minimum, they're now believing something that they can't demonstrate, which is itself a problem. Having beliefs, strong beliefs that you cannot demonstrate, that itself is a problem. Hopefully that, between the two of us, hopefully we got to your answer.
Would it be the same thing as, let's see if gender dysphoria? Wouldn't it be the same thing?
Dysphoria?
No, because gender, so first of all, gender is being separate from sex is, hang on, I don't want to have to mute you, but I will. gender, being separate from genetic sex, presents itself in a number of different ways. One of them is gender identity, the gender that you internally associate with. This is a product of an individual's mind. There's not some external necessary truth to it. If I say that my identity is a man, or that my identity is as a woman, or my identity is as neither, that's just true. Then separate from gender identity is this notion of gendered expression, which is how we express to the rest of the world what our internal gender identity is, to the extent that we want them to know. And that could be how we put on makeup, or facial hair, or body hair, or the clothing that we wear, or the pronouns that we use. There's nothing about that. It's not like saying, oh, I believe I'm this gender, and I could be wrong about it. You can't be wrong. You can be wrong in the sense of not completely understanding who you are. But if you are convinced that this is who you are, it's no more wrong than I like vanilla ice cream.
Oh, I get that part. Like people deciding what they are, but like a biological male that wants to get pregnant. I mean, isn't that a sort of dysphoria?
Well, right now, it's not really. It's first of all, it's not outside the realm of science. As a matter of fact, I think there's already been a biological male that was pregnant, right? I thought there. I don't know, but there's no reason that we couldn't transplant a womb and work towards those sorts of things within science. But the desire. Hang on, Javier. Hang on. The desire to be pregnant is not a delusion.
If you're a man, isn't it?
No, I could desperately want to be pregnant and just still be recognizing the physical facts about science that my biology currently prohibits me from being pregnant, but I could spend my entire life desiring to be pregnant. That is not dysphoria, that is not delusion. And by the way, why did we, Javier, stop talking? Why did we shift from a discussion about belief in a God and whether or not those beliefs and how they're formed represent something bad to a discussion about gender and pregnancy? Because those things are not remotely in the same fucking ballpark.
I was talking
They're not beliefs.
They're not beliefs.
They're not beliefs, Javier. I have been dying to talk. Javier. They are not beliefs. Do I believe I am a woman? That's a legitimate question. Do I believe I am a woman, Javier? Do you think? I know I'm a woman. Oh, I know I'm a woman? How do I know I'm a woman? What properties do I have mentally that make me a woman? Oh, I have a mental vagina? I have a mental vagina, Javier. Can you see my vagina? Do you know if I have a vagina? Stop talking. I'm frustrated with you right now because you don't want... No, it's fine. I'm going to ask him some questions. Here's the problem. This was a Trojan horse for somebody who wants to get transphobic rhetoric on the air, but I really want to make this point. Because Javier, I will mute you, so help me. Don't test me. Do not mistake my kindness for weakness. You cannot see whether I do or do not have a vagina, Javier. So your assessment of whether or not I am a woman is not based on that because you cannot see it. You are basing it on something completely different. You're basing it on a configuration of societal standards and my personal presentation. That's what you're basing it on, along with my self-declaration to you that I am a woman. That is what you are basing it on. And that is not a mistake. And it is not a mistake when a trans person does it. It is not. So if you want to call in here again with your Trojan horse talking about how a belief that is false is somehow equivalent with knowing who you are, as though you think it's some sort of gotcha. You picked the wrong day and you picked the wrong pony because I have no tolerance for bigots. Got it?
No, not at all. I wasn't trying to get there. This is why I asked the question. Because,
Okay, so do you understand a little bit better then? Because you need to stop making the false equivalence that believing something that is false is the same in any way, shape, or form as somebody knowing who they are. You don't get to decide that.
I am Mexican, right? I white, I'm black. I can't say I'm a lot of stuff I'm not.
You don't get it. You don't get it then, Javier. You do not get it. You didn't listen to a word that I said because you're trying to make another false equivalence.
Whether or not you're Mexican is a statement of fact. But race, like gender, is a social construct. Ethnicity is not a social construct, other than we are pointing to groups and determining how much you fit into there. So this is why your distraction. You see, first of all, you say you're not trying to get there. I don't believe you, and Shannon doesn't believe you, because you came in with a really simple thing about belief. And belief, by the way, is the acceptance of a proposition as true. And so you could say, here's a proposition, Shannon is a woman, Shannon believes that proposition is true, and you would be completely correct. And yet you're not talking about gender or gender identity at all, because that's separate from believing a proposition. This is about understanding and knowing how one feels about one's identity and how one wants to express it. This is not the same with regard to whether or not you happen to be genetically related to people that fit into a category of Hispanics. It's just not.
Well, it's exactly the same. I mean, I can't identify.
No, sir.
No, it's not, unless you're a racist, because there's a confluence of things that are affiliated with your race that compile who you are as a part of that race. Like, a gender identity is something that there is a societal affiliate with. Is there something that there's a societal affiliate with that it is true to say about somebody who is a specific race? Because the moment that you say that, you are going into racist propaganda. That's the false equivalence. It's not exactly the same thing.
I'm being incredibly zen today, and will continue to be. And I want to give you the best possible answers. I swear to God, if you say it's the same thing one more time, I will curse you out and hang up on you. So let's avoid that. And I suggest that you call in to the Transatlantic Call-In Show next Saturday and talk to Katie and Arden about this subject, because then you will get not only the same, an improved response over Shannon and myself, but you will get it directly from people who are trans rather than listening to a couple of cis people talking about this.
Yeah.
And since you're marching around with such monumental ignorance, both about the nature of belief and about the nature of gender and race, I'm going to save you from embarrassing yourself and being ripped apart by Shannon and the people in the chat, and I'm going to go on to another caller. If you're not familiar with how to reach out and find the Transatlantic Call-In Show, send me an email. I'm sure my girlfriend would love to talk to you. Sorry.
I lost my zen.
Oh, and I wasn't for chicken in there. That was for
I lost my zen.
It's okay. We've got Nick. Oh, wait. I apologize.
There's no God, doesn't exist, so don't try to save me, use your fucking brain and leave us all alone.
Okie dokie. I just don't even know what to say. I'm speechless right now. I am at a loss for words. Can somebody help me find the words? Help me find something to say. I just don't know what to say at this point, because I don't even know what in the world. I don't even know what I was watching. My eyes hurt right now. My ears hurt right now. I think my brain cells are depleting right now after watching this video. What? And the pronouns that I just watched. What? And the 188 genders that I just watched. What in the world? What is going on in America? What is going on in the internet world? Yeah.
me speechless, and I talk a lot. Y'all know I talk a lot. Y'all know I talk a lot. Y'all know I talk a lot. People have lost their everlasting minds. Seriously. I mean, what in the world is a biophobic? Biophobic? I've never in my life heard of these. Biophobic? I'm gonna have to go look some of this stuff up. I just don't even know where y'all be coming up with this stuff. Where do y'all be coming? How do y'all come up with this crap? Seriously. Is something in the food? Is something in the water? Is there something in the air? Because we evidently don't eat the same food. We evidently don't drink the same water. We evidently don't breathe the same air. Because what is ever in the air that you are breathing is messing with you. Whatever food you eat is messing with you. Whatever water you are drinking is messing with you. Because I don't understand